Welcome to the Disability Benefits Channel, folks. I'm your host, Emmett Irwin, and we are here to talk about coping with coronavirus anxiety with licensed social worker and E-Therapist Caroline Artley. Good morning, Caroline.
Hi, Emmett. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
All right.
All right, great. So I personally am feeling anxiety in the current situation, and I feel like from what I see, everybody is feeling anxiety. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing an increase in anxiety. It's all around us. There's a range of why people are experiencing anxiety, between fear of the actual virus or responding to the way their life has been changed. But we're certainly seeing an increase in anxiety.
So, how do we tell if it's normal anxiety or harmful anxiety?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in a situation like this, there isn't anybody alive today who's experienced a global pandemic, right? So it's hard to say what is a normal response to this situation. But what we're really looking at is whether to what extent the anxiety is affecting a person. So if they're telling us this is crippling, this is overwhelming, I don't know how to manage it, that's a pretty clear sign. But if they're also finding, if instead of that, they might not be saying that to us, but they might be just noticing that the extent to which their life has changed is hard to cope with. Maybe they're not keeping up with things the way they'd like to. I don't want to say it like that because we're all not keeping up with things the way we'd like to.
Right. True.
But we're really just looking at the extent to which it's impacting an individual person. And that's going to range for each person.
Okay, great. We're all trying to cope as best we can. Now, if we want to go see someone, how do we do that? I mean, we can't go anywhere.
Right, yeah. So in the last couple of weeks, pretty much through the country, most of the mental health providers have moved online, kind of like we're talking right now. Some are still working on it, but many are here already. Many are not seeing individuals in their offices at this time. And there have been, at least just speaking here in Maryland, there have been restrictions lifted. Insurances are widening their coverage for telehealth. So right now, the sign that we're getting from our government and from the insurances is basically take good care of people. That's pretty much the priority right now, is taking good care of people. And so what we're doing is the same things we would do in an office, we're providing online instead. And I've been doing it this way for about 5 years now. And I've often said there isn't much that I do in the office that I can't do online via video conferencing. One of the tried and true methods for helping individuals with anxiety has been cognitive behavior therapy. And those methods are certainly available online. We can share files, we can share screens, we can practice skills together. And basically that's focused on helping us to calm our mind, calm our body, and make reasonable judgments. Basically, you and I were talking the other day about this, and one of the steps in cognitive behavior therapy is being able to discern what kind of thoughts are helpful, what kind of thoughts are harmful, what thoughts are traps that you fall into. And these days, it's really hard to discern that, because just a couple of weeks ago, what we're living in right now would have been considered catastrophizing, or taking one issue and blowing it way out of proportion. And now we're living in it. So it's really hard to say what is a realistic or a reasonable thought. But what we're focusing on mostly these days is helping people to quiet their minds and calm their bodies, because when they can do that, they can think more clearly and they can problem solve their situations, their lifestyle changes with more clarity.
Any challenges given the current environment as far as e-therapy goes?
Yeah, like I said, I've been doing this for several years, and I would have thought it would have been a smooth transition, but one of the things that's changed is privacy. So a lot of my clients for years have always scheduled their appointments around a time when they knew that they could have some degree of privacy, whether it's in their home or whether it's in their office, on their lunch break, something like that. But lately, there's so many people crammed into small spaces in their homes that it is hard for them to find some privacy. So some of the tricks that actually our clients are coming up with and sharing with us so that we can share with other people are running a mobile phone, a secondary mobile phone near their door of the room that they're in, with maybe like ocean sounds or other white noise, in order to filter out the sound of them talking. We've always recommended people wearing headphones or earbuds of some sort so that people who might pass by where you are don't hear at least the therapist side of things. I've heard from people who are going in the bathroom and running the faucet, or sitting near, running a load of laundry and sitting near the washing machine. It doesn't really distort our audio very much, but it certainly muffles their sound for other people. People are taking walks during their sessions, or their household members are taking the dog for a walk during their sessions. So privacy has certainly been a challenge. It's also an opportunity to do more family therapy sessions. We can give these same interventions we do for individuals, we can do to help all family members. Individuals who work with children are trying to figure out, how do we do this with kids? And part of that is really trying to help the parents, because the parents are experiencing a huge adjustment right now. And if we can help the parents to calm their bodies, calm their minds, think clearly, they'll be more efficient at what they do. And when parents are doing well during a crisis, generally the children will do well as well.
Thank you for that perspective. So if someone, a member of the audience, does want to connect with a therapist, what advice would you give them?
So under normal circumstances, if they wanted to work remotely, like via video conferencing, I would say there's certain ways to find those people, but nowadays it's just about everybody. So I would suggest that they just kind of go to a Google search and they type in their location. And the reason that's important is because whereas right now it doesn't really matter where within your state the therapist is located, it will when this crisis is over. And if you want to continue working with that person, you want to be able to work with them, whether it's remotely or in their office. If it's going to be in their office in the future, then you're going to want to make sure that it's in an area that's convenient to you. So I would suggest just doing a regular Google search for a therapist, a counselor in your area, and just expect that when you touch base with different places, they're probably going to tell you, A, it's all remote right now, everything is telehealth right now, and B, some places might be they might put you on hold for a little bit. And the reason for that is they're still trying to transition all of their existing clients. And it might just be hard for them to bring in somebody new. I'm accepting new. Many people are accepting new if we were already equipped to take new people. But that's a whole different transition process than just moving their existing clients. So it might take them a couple of weeks to be able to do that. So if you hear that, don't get discouraged. Don't think there isn't anywhere that I'll be able to go. There are plenty of places that are available now. And if there's a place, maybe you read their website or you read their biography and you really, really like them and you feel like you can really connect with them and you can just hold out for a week or two, then they'll probably be ready by then to get you started.
Thank you for that advice, Caroline. And I know our audience is now at least a little bit better equipped to cope with this coronavirus anxiety, and maybe thinking about reaching out to a therapist or an e-therapist for help. So thank you very much. And folks, if you want to subscribe to my channel, just hit the red subscribe button for more videos like this. Thank you.